Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. In today's video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about growing citrus plants in containers, guys. I've been growing citrus plants in containers for years. And yes, guys, I live in Zone 7A. And I've been hearing from so many fellow gardeners who live in colder climates or colder growing zones, how much they love growing citrus, but they feel like they cannot grow citrus because they live in colder zones. Guess what, guys? You can absolutely grow citrus. Why? Because you can grow it in containers like I do over here in my home, in my green room. So join me here today, guys, as I will go over everything step by step, from potting, fertilization, watering, upkeep, pruning, even pest and disease control. Absolutely everything you need to know when it comes to growing citrus in containers. For those of you looking for that online garden channel that offers tips, tricks, easy yet proven gardening advice to take your home garden to that next level. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. If you like the content of my videos as well, click the bell icon. YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new garden video. Now come with me. Let's talk all about growing citrus plants, citrus trees at your home in containers. So I want to start off with talking about why should you plant your citrus trees or citrus plants in containers. For those of you, my fellow friends, fellow gardeners who live in zones 9 and above, you guys are lucky enough to plant your citrus directly outside in the ground. For those of us living in gardening zones that are below zone 9, we get very, very cold temperatures in the winter. And citrus is a warm, loving plant. So if the temperatures dip below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 0 degrees Celsius, our citrus plants will not only suffer, they will die. So it's very convenient to grow our citrus plants in containers, as we can keep them outside all summer long. And when the temperatures start to go below, say 50 degrees Fahrenheit at nights, we can bring our pots or our containers inside, indoors, and keep our citrus plants happy and safe. Also, by planting and growing your citrus trees or citrus plants in containers, you guys have absolutely full control. Anything from fertilizing, watering, pruning, harvesting, you are in full control of your plant when you grow it in a container. For those of you guys who think that citrus cannot survive, does not love living in containers, well, you guys are absolutely wrong. Citrus will grow and will thrive in containers. In fact, the citrus plant will grow as large as the container that you planted in will allow it to get. As you can see over here, I have my established lime tree that is growing in an absolute huge, large container. This guy is massive. I can't even move it anymore. As you can see, it is so happy. Look at all the limes, guys. Some are larger, some are smaller, but this tree I've had for the last 3 years, and every single year I get to harvest delicious, juicy limes from it. Here I have a grapefruit tree that is not as established. It's a newer tree. I had this guy over here for about a year, and you could see that it's growing. Well, I potted it and planted it and growing in a smaller container. It's still relatively large, but not as large as this guy. So again, your citrus plants and trees will grow as large as the container that you planted in will allow it to grow. So the larger the container, the larger your plant will be. Regardless of the container that you choose, guys, or a pot, any citrus plant or citrus tree needs maximum full sun. And by maximum, I mean at least 8 to 10 hours of direct sunlight per day. The more sun you will give to your citrus plant, the happier your citrus plant will be. Now let's get into talking about choosing the right pot or the right container for our citrus plants. I personally absolutely love terracotta pots, such as this one. Well, this one's a small guy, but they come in all shapes and all sizes. However, if you live in dry and very hot climates, terracotta is very porous and it easily allows the moisture to escape from the sides of the pot or the container. So for those of you living in very hot, very dry desert-like climates, and you guys living in California, that especially goes out to you guys. I would not suggest using or planting citrus plants in a terracotta pot. There are many other pots to choose from. There are even pots that are made out of plastic that are meant to look like terracotta pots that will help conserve and not waste all the moisture. So all the moisture doesn't escape and make your plant, your citrus plant, suffer. For those of you guys living in damp or humid climates like I have over here in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A, you can use absolutely any container you like or you choose. You can use terracotta, you can use plastic container that looks good and that you feel like you like. You can even use clay or cement like I have over here with my grapefruit plants. You can choose any container your heart desires. One very important thing when you're choosing a container, it absolutely must have plenty of drainage hole. So this little terracotta pot does not have any drainage hole. So I would not be able to use it with absolutely any size citrus tree. If you are using a plastic container and it does not have any drainage holes, you can use a drill and a drill bit and drill at least 6 to 8 holes around the bottom and in the center of your container. Most most containers already come with at least one large drainage hole in the middle, which each of my containers over here has. And this one large hole in the middle allows plenty and plenty of drainage for my citrus plants. So my plants are very, very happy. One more thing, guys, when it comes to the size of the container or the pot that you choose for your citrus plant. The smaller the container, the harder it is to maintain the moisture level. The larger it is, it's much, much easier to maintain the moisture level. And again, guys, the larger the container you choose, the larger your plant will grow. The sizing of the container has a direct effect on the sizing of your plant. I know I just said so many positive aspects when it comes to growing your citrus plants in a larger container. However, guys, if you are leaving your citrus plant outside in the summer months, so the warmer months, and then you have to bring them inside before your first anticipated frost date, which is exactly what I have to do every single year. Just remember, guys, choose a container that you can lift, that you can move, and that you can actually bring inside indoors. This guy over here has been here for years. This pot is absolutely huge. It's not movable, and there would be no way that I can bring a container of this size and this weight inside indoors. So that's very important to consider when you're choosing a container, and you know your plants will be outside in the warmer months and inside in the colder months. Just make sure the container you choose, you can actually lift and move inside without breaking the container or damaging the plant. So the next question that might arise is, what size of a container do I need to choose if you're just potting up your brand new citrus tree? Just remember that the container you choose must not only be deep, but it must be wide as well to accommodate the roots, the root system of your citrus plant. So another important rule when it comes to choosing the right size container for your citrus plant is you must always go at least twice the size larger than the existing container that your plant is growing in. So I got these brand new beauties. So these are improved Meyer lemon plants. So it is in an existing container. What is this? About what, 2-3 gallons, guys? So when I'm transplanting this beauty over here, I have to replant it in a container that's at least twice larger than the existing container in which it lives currently. So if this guy is 3 gallons, the new container should be at least 6 gallons. If you got a plant in a 5-gallon container, the new pot should be at least 10 gallons. And then again, guys, you can always repot your citrus. In fact, it's recommended to repot your citrus to a larger size container every 2 to 3 years. So now let's talk about what kind of soil you need to choose to put in your pot or container that your citrus tree will thrive growing in. Citrus plants love well draining, loose soil. You do not want to choose a soil that has too much clay and will compact the plant's root system. There are companies, there are brands that make and sell soil specifically formulated for succulents, cacti, as well as citrus tree. Here is just one example. Yes, guys, I know that this is by Miracle Grow, and many of you, for whatever reasons, prefer not to purchase Miracle Grow. You prefer to go with the organic method, and I will get into that in a minute. You absolutely can make your own soil for your citrus plant organically, and I will tell you exactly what you need to use for that. But again, you cannot just use plain potting mix or potting soil when you are transplanting or planting your citrus tree, as it will not allow the moisture to drain out well, and it will cause the soil to become compact, and essentially it might cause the roots of your citrus plant to rot. So it's very important to choose and to put the correct soil in the container in which you're growing your citrus tree. When I plant or repot my citrus plants or trees, I personally like to use half potting mix, and I usually put that at the very bottom of my container. And the other half, I like to use a specialized soil, such as this, as a cactus, palm, succulent, and citrus mix on the upper half portion of my container. However, for those of you guys who you like to go the organic way, which I absolutely love doing as well, you can make your own soil. So it's a third pit moss, third vermiculite, and third perlite. And if you make 3 of these components together, if you mix them together, that will make the perfect soil for your citrus plant. And some people also like to add a little sand to that third mixture that I just spoke about. Our citrus plants bloom in the spring season. They set their fruits, like I have over here, during the summer month. The fruits start to grow and get larger. And the usual harvest time for citrus fruits is sometime in the fall and or winter. And the great thing about citrus is that you don't have to pick all the fruit at once, like we usually have to with many other fruits or fruiting trees. And for those of you wondering what is the best storage location for citrus fruit. The best storage location for your citrus is exactly where it is right now, where it's been growing, on the citrus tree. So again, guys, the best storage place for your citrus fruit is exactly where they are growing, which is on the citrus tree. And you can leave them hanging there for months and months. And guess what, guys? You will get much better storage life out of your citrus fruit if you leave them on the citrus tree versus placing them somewhere in your kitchen or even your refrigerator. So if you don't want to harvest everything at once, keep them hanging right on their birth spots, exactly where they were growing all these months on the tree. If you guys are growing and keeping your pots or containers with your citrus plants outside the entire summer, maybe into fall, but then you guys have to bring them inside because of the cooler winters, just make sure you keep an eye out for the weather forecast. If the temperatures, especially at night, start to dip, if they go up 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 4 degrees Celsius or below that, that is the time. That is absolutely the lowest temperature that you need to keep your citrus plants outside with. You must immediately bring your citrus plant inside, indoors, to keep it safe and to prevent it from freezing and dying. Also, guys, when you bring your citrus plant inside, indoors, it's very important to choose the correct location where you're going to place your powder container. Make sure that the place where you put your container gets at least 8+ hours of sunlight per day. For those few winter months, your plant will be absolutely fine with less hours of direct sunlight, but 8 should be the minimum. So place them in a room that has south-facing windows. That is preferred. And another thing, guys, once you place them near a window or in a room which is south-facing, you should rotate your pot or container. You should turn it every few days to ensure that every side of your plant gets the exact amount of sunlight. So the entire plant will stay healthy and happy. Another thing to remember is that citrus plants do go through something called a shock when you take them from one extreme to the next. So say you've been keeping them inside indoors the entire winter and then it starts to warm up in the spring or even the summer. What I recommend is exactly what we do when it comes to seedlings. We should harden our plants off. You shouldn't just take out your container and leave it the entire day outside after it's been inside indoors for a few months. What I like to do is take it outside in the morning, right before the full sun comes along, the temperatures warm up. Keep it there for a few hours at a time. Maybe bring it back in or put a shade cloth. Because remember, guys, it's been used to living with less direct sunlight those winter months. And now you can't expect to bring your citrus plant outside and to direct sunlight, to 10+ hours of direct sunlight and keep it there all day. Your plant will go through shock, hence its leaves might turn yellow, or it might even start to drop leaves, and we don't want to expose our citrus plant to shock. So if you do move your pot from inside to outdoors or outdoors to inside, especially after cold winter months, remember, guys, take it easy on your citrus plant. Do a few hours a day at a time, and once you see that your plant is okay, it's happy, then you can permanently move your plant outside for those warmer months. When you are potting or even transplanting, repotting your citrus plants, you must always amend the soil with fertilizer. The fertilizer I prefer and always use when it comes to my citrus plants is the Soma Organic Citrus Tone. Again, guys, as I always say, I'm not associated with this company. I am not trying to market them in any way. However, this is an amazing, amazing organic product. Yes, it's absolutely 100% organic, and it does wonders for my plants, for my vegetables, for my herbs, and even my citrus trees in my home garden. This is a slow release organic fertilizer. And for those of you who are not familiar with this product or not sure where to purchase it, I will link it in the comment section below. But yes, I purchased this product on Amazon, and I use it every time I transplant or repot my citrus plant. And I also use it at least once a year regularly on my established mature citrus trees. So this is the new container over here, this beauty, that I chose to plant my new improved Meyer lemon plant in. It is quite a large container. It has full drainage in it, fully draining. So I already pre-filled this container, guys, with organic potting mix, potting soil, so I don't waste any more of your precious time, guys. So as I said previously, I like to put the organic potting mix or potting soil on the bottom of my containers, and the rest I will fill up with this cactus, palm, and citrus potting mix, guys. So what I like to do is just dump it in, like so, and intermix it with the organic potting mix. Another very important thing to remember, guys, when you are repotting, the top portion of this old container, so the soil level in this old container, must be on the top portion, so the top layer of the new container. So I always like to put the guy in, and to make sure that this level exactly matches the height of the new container. So as you can see, if I put it in, it's not there quite yet. So I need to add a bit more of the citrus potting mix to raise this guy up, so this level meets the new soil level. Again, I'm gonna add a little more of the citrus potting mix. It's specifically formulated for citrus and cacti and succulents, like so. Don't be shy, guys, get in there. Now let's test it out again, guys. Let's make sure that the soil level meets. We're getting there, guys. A few inches more, and I can pot up my new citrus plant. And you can definitely feel the difference in the soil quality as you're touching it. You can feel it's more porous, very airy, very soft. It's not clogged. It's not very heavy. Here you go. Again, let's test it out. Perfect, guys. This is exactly what you want. Once you fill in the remaining of the soil, the top of the soil level will be the same, which is exactly what you need to keep your plant happy. So now let's take a look. Let's pull this beauty out. Wow, look at this dense root system, guys. It's been sitting in that container for a long time. So in this case, you want to loosen up the bottom of the roots a bit. You want to let them breathe. Look how compact they are. Much better. You could see now the roots are drooping down a bit. You want to position your plant in the center, and the rest is super easy, guys. We just fill up the rest of our container with our citrus potting mix. Again, guys, I'm not saying you should get this potting mix. You can always make your own. Third pit moss, third vermiculite, and third perlite. Now that we're almost done filling up the remainder of the pot, what I like to do is add the fertilizer. Again, there's foam organic citrus tone, which I will link in the comment section below. There are very clear instructions of how much to use in the back of the packet. It all depends on the tree height, and it tells you the amount. So for a tree of about 3 feet tall, which I think this guy over here is, It calls for about 6 cups or so. I always like to eye it. I will diligently sprinkle the fertilizer in here. Again, this is organic, this is all natural, and I will diligently mix it in with the soil. Like so. Beautiful. Again, it's a slow release fertilizer, so as you keep watering your plant, it will keep dissolving and being absorbed by the root system of your citrus plant over a period of time. I do have quite a few citrus trees growing in my green room, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse. So again, this guy over here, this huge sized container, is my lime tree, my lime plant. You could see it's doing great. I have quite a few larger sized limes, some smaller limes. Next to it, I have this younger grapefruit, red ruby grapefruit tree over here. It is in a, I should say smaller, but it's not that small. It's still a very tall and large container. This one is younger. I got it less than a year ago. Over here on this side, I do have a younger orange, navel orange tree, which actually someone gave me. They thought that it was struggling, and they asked me if I wanted it, if I wanted to save it. They still had a tag attached. You could see it says orange, not much left to this tag, but this is a navel orange plant, a tree. You could see that I staked the tree with bamboo stick, which is, by the way, exactly what I like to use when it comes to my citrus tree. I don't use plastic. I use bamboo sticks. And this tree is doing better than it was. I pruned it a bit. I pruned off some dead branches. And you could see the new growth that it's getting already. There's more new growth. I did fertilize it. I'm keeping an eye on the moisture content, and I'm making sure that this tree is getting all the tender love and care that it needed and wanted all this time. Now that you fertilize your citrus tree at planting time or transplanting time, now you need to fertilize your citrus tree twice a year. First time you need to fertilize your citrus tree is at late winter, right before your plant starts to put on that new, beautiful, fresh growth. And the second time, right after your plant blooming stops and it starts to set the new fruit. That is exactly when you want to fertilize it again, to give that boost to your plant, to encourage it to grow nice large fruits. If you see any yellowing leaves on your citrus plant or citrus tree, don't despair, guys. Yellow or yellowing leaves are pretty common when it comes to citrus plants, and they're typically most commonly due to either overwatering or underwatering of the citrus plant, which can be easily corrected. If more than 1 or 2 or 3 of your plant's leaves are starting to turn yellow, then you might want to re-fertilize your plant. And most of the time, if you re-fertilize the plant, this will help fix the problem. When you're filling in the rest of the container with the potting mix, make sure you do not go above this level. So the top level of the previous pot or container, the top level of the soil, should be on the same level as the new soil that you're putting in. Do not put any additional soil above this level of the root ball. So you do not want to put soil here. You want to keep it exactly at the pre-existing soil level if you want your plant to thrive. Another cool thing about citrus trees is that they are self-fertile. What does that mean, guys? That means that they do not need another tree variety or another citrus variety to cross-pollinate. They will self-pollinate and produce those delicious fruits for you. Now let's get into one of probably most discussed and covered and favorite topics out there, which is pest and disease control when it comes to growing citrus plants, especially in containers. For those of you guys, my fellow gardeners, my fellow friends who are growing their citrus plants either directly outdoor, or maybe you place your containers with your citrus plants outdoor in those warm summer months. I just want to let you guys know that pests could be one thing that might crawl on your doorstep, unwanted pests such as rats. Yes guys, rats love eating oranges off of your orange plants. So if you guys one day come outside and notice that all of your oranges are gone overnight, chances are that you had some unwanted, unnecessary pests come into your home garden in the middle of the night. So try to prevent that, try to be aware of that, be very cautious of that. Another pest that can come and crawl into your citrus plants, into the soil of your citrus plants, are snails. Snails love to attack and devour our citrus plants. One organic, one safe method to keep snails away from our citrus plants is to place a copper band on the bottom of the trunk of our citrus tree. That copper band on the bottom of our citrus plant's trunk will repel and will keep snails away from your precious citrus plants. Another pest that can crawl into your home garden when it comes to citrus plants is an ant. And remember guys, ants do tend to be associated with aphids that can carry aphids to your home garden as well. So if you are noticing ants crawling anywhere around your citrus plants, there's one easy and organic solution to that problem. What you do is you wrap the bottom of your citrus plant's trunk towards the soil level with saran wrap, and you place Vaseline. You put a barrier of Vaseline on that saran wrap. Do not put Vaseline directly on the trunk of your citrus plant, only on that saran wrap. And that acts as a barrier against ants. Ants do not like that stickiness that Vaseline has in it. So they will stay away from your citrus plants. Now let's talk all about pruning our citrus plants. Adult citrus trees do need to be pruned. The best ideal times to prune our adult mature trees is 1, after the last frost, and 2, right before the flush of the new growth. Remember, the more you prune your citrus trees, the more new growth you will encourage. So what are the benefits of pruning our citrus plants and citrus trees? First and foremost, you are maximizing the airflow when you're pruning your citrus trees. Not just citrus trees, we should always prune all of our plants to maximize the airflow. By pruning your citrus trees or plants, you're also maximizing the fruiting. And you, of course, are encouraging new, fresh, lush, and green growth. Not only that, by pruning your citrus tree or plant, you are helping it keep a decent, presentable shape. You do not want to have a plant or a tree that has shorter branches, longer branches, crooked branches, drooping branches. You want to keep check on the shape of your citrus plants. You always want to have your plant's branches evenly spaced. As you can see over here, you want to have maximum air circulating around the branches. You want all the branches to be roughly the same height, same length. If you see a branch that is super, super long compared to the other branches, we want to prune that branch off. And you want to just keep the sizing, the height, the width of your plant in shape and in check. Because remember, guys, the more we prune, the more new growth we're gonna get. Hence, we're gonna get more these delicious fruits, which is what we want. We want to keep our plant healthy and happy. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about watering, hydration when it comes to citrus plants. You always want to thoroughly water your citrus plant to the point where you want to make sure that the water drains all the way down, and possibly you want to see that water fully come out from the drainage hole and into that plastic tray underneath your container. Or if you don't have a plastic tray, it's okay, guys. You want to see the water run out. So how often do you water? You do not want to overwater your citrus plants. If you are transplanting or repotting your citrus plants, you want to water thoroughly right away. After that, once your plant is growing, what I like to do is I like to come and look at the soil of my citrus plant. I like to look inside my container. I like to feel the soil. I like to look at the moisture content. Sometimes if you cannot tell, use your finger, stick your finger inside the soil, about 2 inches, and feel for moisture. If you pull out your finger and it's super moist or super wet, it is not the time to rewater your citrus plant. Wait till the soil is fully dry, at least 2 inches below the soil level. If it's dry, if you do not feel any wetness, any moisture, it is time to rewater or thoroughly water your citrus plant once again. This is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today in Long Island, New York. In today's video, we spoke about everything one needs to know when it comes to potting and growing citrus plants in containers. If you guys enjoyed the content of this video, if you found this video to be useful, informative, helpful, show me the support by clicking thumbs up below. Leave your comments in the comment section below as well. Let me know, do you grow citrus trees in your home? Do you grow them outside directly in the soil, or do you have them growing inside in pots and containers? And for those of you who haven't yet subscribed to my channel, guys, no need to wait any longer. Don't be shy, guys. Do so right now. Super easy for you to do. It's so pleasing and rewarding to me knowing that you guys enjoyed watching my videos. You're enjoying the content of my videos as well. Super easy to do. Go below this video and click the subscribe button below. If you never want to miss any of my new upcoming gardening videos, click the bell icon as well. YouTube will notify you, will inform you every time I'll upload a new gardening video. Now, everyone, stay healthy, happy, be safe, and be well. And happy gardening, guys. And I'll see you again in my new upcoming gardening videos. Bye, guys.